Hello everyone. The lesson we're going to be going over today is subordination. So, I know that might sound like a complicated word, but it's really just a way to show what part of a sentence is more important and what part is least important. So, you already know coordinate conjunctions like and, but, or so. These join ideas that are of equal importance. Subordinating conjunctions, on the other hand, join ideas where one is more important than the other. So to better understand what a subordinating conjunction is, it is a grammatical concept that connects ideas within a sentence. This will help you have more complex sentences, add more depth, more professionalism, and clarity to your writing. So a subordinating conjunction links a dependent clause to an independent clause. A dependent clause cannot stand alone, while an independent clause can. Have some examples here. These are some words that are often used, which are because, although, whenever, regardless, and nevertheless. Over here on the right, I have an example of a phrase using it. So, although Jose was tired, he still accepted the 12-hour shift. So the big thing here is you can see that although Jose was tired is the dependent clause. Without the second part, it doesn't really make sense. Adding the second part, he still accepted the 12-hour shift, shows a contrast between, oh, Jose was tired, but he still accepted the 12-hour shift. And we have what is starting a sentence with a subordinate conjunctions. So if you start a sentence with one, you need a comma after the clause, and this will help to read and for the sentence to flow more naturally. So over here I have 3 examples. Nevertheless, she drove to the city. Because I was late to work, I received a written warning. As Samson blew out his candles, he wished for a new bicycle. So if you notice here, there's one main thing with each of these. It's right after the introductory clause, there is a comma. And that's going to be a general rule that you're going to need to follow when you are starting a sentence with a subordinated conjunction. Make sure to have a comma right after the introductory clause. Now we're going to go over what if the conjunction is in the middle. So what if a subordinated conjunction is in the middle? You do not need a comma. I got some more examples here. He still accepted the 12-hour shift, although Jose was tired. I think of my grandmother whenever I see roses, and he wished for a new bike as Samson blew out his candles. So as you can see here, the sentences all work fine without a comma, but that is only because the main clause comes first. If the main clause does not come first, then it will not be able to work correctly. Next, we have when the conjunction is in the end. So you can also place a subordinated conjunction at the end. It's just less common, but it is still correct. Over here you have, you drove to the city nevertheless, and I asked my boss for a raise regardless. This you see more in people when they talk. You don't really see when people are writing. It's more casual, conversational, more informal, just a more casual way of saying things. You don't really, like I said, see this in writing, but it is still correct. And it's just using the subordinated conjunction at the end of a sentence. And now we're going to go over why subordination matters. So using subordinating conjunctions makes the writing more clear and more professional. It shows which idea is the main point and what is supporting that main point. So if you look here, I have 2 more examples. Jose was tired. He still accepted the 12-hour shift. Although Jose was tired, he accepted the 12-hour shift. Comparing these two, you notice a big difference, especially in the second one. The second one immediately shows the contrast between although he was tired, he accepted the 12-hour shift. Reading that, it just reads more smoothly and a lot more flowy compared to Jose was tired, he still accepted the 12-hour shift. So, let's go over some key takeaways now. These are some final examples. Although he was tired, he worked. He worked although he was tired, and he worked. Nevertheless, he was tired. So, going back over this, subordinating conjunctions show which idea is less important. Make sure to use a comma. Always use a comma if the conjunction starts a sentence or connects two complete sentences. No comma is needed if the conjunction is in the middle, and you can place a conjunction at the end. Like I said, conjunctions at the end are okay. They're just a bit more informal, more conversational, not commonly seen in writing as much as it is when it's being talked.